We made it to Fort Lauderdale. This is where we ate. This is a picture of the pizza. If you know me, you know I'm going to eat pizza. So guys, if you watched the previous video of where we rode down to Key West, I told you we were going to make it to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We did. That pizza place you saw was on Fort Lauderdale Beach. And this morning, this is Friday morning, we are riding up A1A. We are headed north. We're headed to Jacksonville, Florida. That's where my truck's located. We're going to spend the night there and then head out Saturday morning to head home. But anyway, this A1A that we're running north, it runs along the coastline all the way up. And so this is still Fort Lauderdale Beach area right here. If you ever have the opportunity to ride this, drive it, whatever, this A1A from Fort Lauderdale north, it is worth it. Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to get into a residential area that you will see here in a few minutes, and it's beyond anything that I've ever seen. There's Colby. He just came up beside of me and got ahead of me. I motioned him to come by me. So he'll ride in front a little bit. That way you got a motorcycle in front of you to watch. And of course, he's the reason this trip got put together. I told you on the video that I made of Key West that he's the one that asked me if I'd take him somewhere and to go ride. And so, you know, Florida was the warmest place that I thought we could get to, and that Key West run has been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Now you see Ryan in front of me, so the two guys are in front of me and I'm bringing up the rear. But Colby's the reason we put this trip together, and I came to Florida because I wanted to run that Key West run. And just over to our right, of course, it's down a little bit because they've got a bank pushed up there of sand, and that's where those palm trees and the ivy and stuff's at. But this follows the ocean all the way up, you know, as far as we rode it. We rode this ride here about 3 hours, and then we might have rode it a little longer than that, but it was about 3 hours, and then of course we started running out of time. So we came into West Palm Beach and went to the Harley shop and had some lunch. Now we're starting to roll in a little bit to the residential area. I would not know how to even guess how many millions of dollars these houses are. I mean, I'm thinking 10 million plus, and I may be even too shy. Yachts backed up to them is just as big as the house. One of the things that's kind of funny, and I wished I had a videoed it, and I did not think about it, but we were riding this ride, and we'd been on it for a while. We wanted to stop. You just saw a yacht there to your left. We wanted to stop and get a snack and something to drink and use the restroom, so we stopped at a gas station. We finally came across one. We have ridden this thing for a long ways, and there's no commercial buildings at all, but we came up on a little gas station, so we stopped in, and we asked the attendant. He was out pumping the gas for the people, and of course they were Mercedes and BMWs and Audis and Lamborghinis sitting out there. We asked the fellow, you know, could we use the restroom? And he told us they were not for visitors and turned his back on us. So I guess once you get up to a certain financial level, I guess the common person like myself, the middle class man, we wasn't welcome. That's kind of the way I took it. We wasn't welcome in that area. But the drive up through here, I mean, there was a landscaping truck. It's just landscaping truck after landscaping truck after landscaping truck, just taking care of these people's properties. I mean, what they spend, that was a huge house right there. What they spend just keeping these properties up. And then there was maid service vehicles at all of the houses. And I mean, it's beyond anything I could imagine. But if I have to be, or I don't have to worry about it, I'll never be there. But if if you got to be that, or if you get to be that rich or whatever, and then You can't even let a common man use your restroom at a gas station. That's not a life I think I would want to live. That seems to me like kind of a miserable life once you get to a certain level and the middle class aren't welcome to use a restroom. But anyway, I've shot a lot of video here. The landscaping is just so beautiful. These houses are just huge. And of course, I wished I'd have put the camera on the wide angle so you would have got a broader view of this, but it is just, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And at each one of those houses, I mean, there was either Lamborghini SUVs, Porsche SUVs, there was just all kinds of exotic vehicles. Everybody in this area was out running, or they were out on a bicycle. If we hadn't already passed it, we'll pass our country club here in just a little bit, and the golf course goes up and down the road. It's just something to see. If you ever have the opportunity to drive A1A, you should do it, because it is really something to see. Just maybe take a bottle with you if you have to use the bathroom, because we did actually stop at 2 different gas stations to use the restroom and get something to drink and a snack, but we didn't do it because they wouldn't let us use their bathroom, so we didn't get a drink or a snack, because both places told us they're not for visitors. Now on your right, you're going to see coming up a little building on the right there. When you see those, and we've passed several of them, but I was talking about something else, and look at this huge house on your left. But when you see those little buildings on the right, that's a small version of their house on the other side of the street. That's their little beach house, like where they would, had a place to hang out when they were down on the beach. It was just something else. Like I said, it's beyond anything I can imagine of living. Now here's the golf course and the country club. It's on both sides of the road, the golf course is. And then the country club is right here, is the entrance to the country club right there. I told Ryan because it's still after this where we stopped a couple places to try to use a restroom. I said we should have just rolled up in that country club and walked in there and asked them if we could get something to eat and use the restroom. Bet they'd have thrown us out. You know that old Travis Tritt song, he says, I'm a member of the country club, country music is what I love. I'd say it wouldn't work in there. As you see, all of the houses, they're behind gates, fences. A lot of the fences were covered with ivy. I mean, they are just meticulously maintained. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful morning to ride. Temperature was in the top of the 70s. Sun was out. And so we ride, like I said, I think we rode this at least 3 hours. And then we pulled in and started into West Palm Beach and had the opportunity there to give $5.39 a gallon for gas. And that's a couple of dollars a gallon higher than it is here at home in Kentucky. But we stopped, and I'll have it here in just a second. We stopped at a restaurant called Lola's Seafood. If you're ever in West Palm Beach, I'd recommend going. Number 2, the West Palm Beach Harley Davidson store. It had more motorcycles than any of them that I've seen. They had a bunch, and they tried to buy my 2015 CVO. They wanted CVOs because they couldn't get them. Well, guys, we made it back to Jacksonville. The bikes are loaded. I can see them back there. Let me see if you can see the bikes. It's kind of dark in here, but the 3 bikes are loaded. We quit shooting the video around noon. We pulled off of that A1A. We had to interstate it back here. We were running out of time. What time did we get here?
About 6:50.
6:50, 7 o'clock. And we rode over 1,000 miles in 3 days. So we had a good time. It was a good trip. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in another video.